Audio test. Is my microphone really that stretchy? Hold on, that sounded weird. Let's give this a shot, maybe? How's it going, everyone? Pup-Tart here. Welcome back to the Aeroteam Gaming Channel. Today we are live in the ToLiss A340-600 from Johannesburg to Cape Town. Apologies for the, oops, 1 second. There we go. Apologies for the delay to the stream. I was going to use the, starting stream time there to set up my hardware and everything, and then I had to use it to fix my audio instead. I love it when that happens. It's so awesome. But here we are. We are in the Echo Contours at the north of Johannesburg here. There's the A340, and unfortunately I'm still without JustFlight's Traffic Global. I guess these are just static aircraft from X-Plane, the gateway scenery or whatever, but yeah, no AI traffic through the rest of it. I haven't gotten a chance yet to test if Traffic Global is functional yet. I haven't gotten a crash since I disabled it last month, so knock on wood, hopefully it all holds together. But yeah, the good news is we're in a ToLiss aircraft now, which means we have autosave, so if anything goes wrong, we can probably piece it back together. Like the first stream, I had to do that then. But yeah, so hopefully by the next time I'll have Traffic Global running again, but I just haven't gotten a chance to test it out yet, and I don't want to do that on stream and have things go sideways, even though they will. They always go sideways. But yeah, best I can do. Yes, this is OR Tambo International. So the international concourse here at this airport, I guess, is this branch out here that South African operated the A340s out of. These are since long retired now, but this flight is from 2014, summer 2014. So we are operating, again, South African 337. It'll be about 2 hours in total. And as stated in the description, I'm going to be trying to use the slightly longer cruise time here to see if I can do a little bit of building in Minecraft for some quality Aeroteam content. I'm hoping it will work. I haven't tried streaming both Flight Sim and Minecraft at the same time yet, so I'm hoping it won't be too much for my poor little computer. But, yep, rest in peace. Beautiful aircraft. The Flying Pencil. Well, enough waffling. Apart from that, I don't think there's too much else to mention. Default gateway scenery on both ends, because there's no good third-party scenery for either, unfortunately. So, and this is admittedly on the worse end, I'm not gonna lie. Like, look at that roof. That's pretty terrible detail. But, oh well, I'm a little bit older. So, gateway scenery, I have Ortho 4XP tiles generated around both Johannesburg and Cape Town, but absolutely nothing between. So, an hour of just solid X-Plane tiled default scenery, that's unenjoyable. So, as is my commentary for a solid hour. So, hence why I thought it might be a good idea to try out using the, or try out streaming some building during the interim time. So, enough waffling, here we are. Now, for some reason, X-Plane's ground services does not want to attach the jetway. It's grayed out, I have no idea why. Usually it works, but it must be just slightly out of bounds at this date here for some reason. Thank you, X-Plane. But I'm just going to pretend that the jetway is here right now. I'm just going to float through space. And here we are. I could see both engines if the stupid jetway wasn't in the way. Here we are. And I am in... Oh, there it goes. Okay, I thought the door was locked on me for a second there. Much better. Alright, let's plop down, have a seat, and establish power. So, battery 1, 2, 3, good voltage on all three. Let's get batteries on, and external power. There we go. Let me have a look at the audio balance in Streamlabs. I don't think that's... Actually, I might crank that down a little bit. There we go. Let me know if the cockpit fans or whatever are too loud for anything. I'll try to balance it accordingly. But, batteries on, external power on, get the strobes to auto, nav lights on. Crank up the display brightnesses. Oops, didn't mean to click that. Return, there we go. And right side as well. Oops. There we go. I think both of those are maxed out. Integrated lighting and overhead is not separated on the A340, that's right, okay. IRS is into nav. Crew supply oxygen on, ground control to auto, leave the fuel pumps off. No smoking signs on, and emergency exit lights armed. I believe that's everything here for us. So, let's get the aircraft started to load up here. We're looking for passengers. We got 322 passengers on board here for this flight, according to SimBrief. 322, looking for a zero fuel weight of 218.1-ish. And I think it does that with just passengers, no cargo, so I'll shave off a few of those and then try to balance it out accordingly with cargo. 218.1, right around there. I'll just throw that in for fun. Alright, so we got 302 passengers, and 11 and 1.3 on the cargo. Oh, right, block fuel. We're looking for just 33.5. There we go. Very short sector for the A340. 33.5, and we'll start fueling with that. Alright. Then, what did I say? 11 and 1.3. Oh, right, except this does 250 increments and that does 100 increments. Thank you, ToLiss. What can I do about this? Okay, so we got 1.3. I'll try maybe 1,000 and 1250. No, that's under. I'll do 1,000 and 1,500. I'll have to correct that in here, otherwise it'll give me a bad CG. 218.2, only 100 off. That's good enough. It's pretty much the same overhead as the A330, yeah. Yes, it's just some things like the fire controls are moved around, obviously. I think it's stretched out a little as well to accommodate the larger, much larger fuel panel there. And it has some differences here, like the engine manual start section and all that. So yeah, it looks like it's pretty much just stretched out vertically a little bit, and then with some more of those controls thrown in, but otherwise it's the same philosophy, I suppose. There are actually a lot of differences too if you take too close of a look at it. Not only like 4 engines for anti-icing and fire controls and all that, but the 2 external power sources instead of just 1, and 3 batteries instead of 2. Beefy systems on this one. But, of course, it's all Airbus managed, so most of it's just the same process, but yeah. 1,500, and load that. Very good. And then it was 302 passengers. There we go. Alright, we are refueling in progress. Defueling, more accurately. So just about half of the fuel on board. I don't know why it started us out with so much, that's odd, but I will. Alright, let's see, we'll pop down here and get the init started. So, flying from Johannesburg to Cape Town. Initialize the IRS there and grab a wind data request. Ground temperature here is 19 degrees. Alternate of Foxtrot Yankee Whiskey Hotel, wherever that is. Now I'm curious, actually. This is Seakutako International Airport in Namibia. So interesting. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. It's east of Windhoek. My goodness, that's like it's longer from Cape Town to I'm messing up that pronunciation, I know it, but it's longer from Cape Town to Seakutako than it is from Johannesburg to Cape Town. Like half again the length. Goodness, there are not a lot of suitable alternates there. Interesting. I guess when you're have the requirements of an A340 for landing. Woo! Yeah, the trip fuel is 14 tons, and the alternate is 13 tons of fuel, so that is quite the difference. Alright, interesting. So, now we've got that sorted. Flight number is going to be South African 337, right there. And I'm pretty sure, like with most European call signs, this would not be the actual call sign that would be used. It's just 337's the flight number, but I don't know what it is. It's of course a historical flight, so I don't have access to flight radar data 10 years ago to figure out what call sign they actually used on this, but oh well. Alright, what did I use? I corrected it to 302 passengers from 322. Cost index is going to be 119, cruising at flight level 380. We'll get NB set up later. Departure out of Johannesburg here is going to be 21 right on the Ragel 3 Bravo. No transition. From Ragel, Upper Quebec 10 to Charlie Sierra Victor. I'll have to have a look at that one later. I always like looking up VORs. Upper Zulu 26 to Addons. And that's it for that routing. I'm so used to spending like 20 minutes solid routing in just lines and lines of airways in the A340. This is probably the shortest route I've ever entered in an A340 FMC. So, from Addons, that's straight into the arrival here. So we got the, we're expecting runway 01, so we'll take the ILS 01, Addons 1 Alpha arrival. How does that connect up? Oh, interesting. It's... yeah, just radar vectors around. Huh, I've never seen radar vector notation like that on a chart before. Here, I'll pop this up real quick. Where it has this curved arrow around instead of just showing a general vector off. But yeah, just track 190 for radar vectoring to ILS. Interesting. Alright, so it's still just... what's that? Final 01? Well, that's the only waypoint in there. I'm not sure what the difference is with Novia versus that. Ah, it uses CI01 instead. Ah, well, I'll just leave Novia then. Odd, okay. And no transition for the Addons 1 Alpha. Alright, there we go. Let's have a look at that now more properly. Oh, come on. I guess it doesn't want to center on Johannesburg. Alright, anyways. Straight out here. It's all connecting nicely. No discontinuities, except, well, that vector as needed. Pull that back to arc, and pop up constraints here. Let's see. Turn up the brightness on that one. Alright, time to do the safety checks. So... let's see, I'll pop up to the top here. And this time on the A340, it's just one button for all 4 engines at once. 1, 2, 3, 4, fire. And APU fire. Very good. Do I have the CVR test on the A340 here? I can never remember. It doesn't look like I do. Yeah, no, I don't. Interesting. There's another difference with the A340 overhead. Lastly, cargo smoke fire test up here. Forward and aft. Discharge. Very good. And takeoff config. Slats, flaps, pitch trim, disagree. Alright, with that done, let's get the APU running. APU on, and a lot of fuel pumps to turn on. Come on. Come on. Ah! Very small manipulators on these buttons for some reason. There we go. I'll squawk 2023 for good luck. Oops. Flap handle's in the way. And let's grab the weather here. Oh, flap open. Give that a start punch. Alright, winds 200 at 16 knots. Ooh, that's pretty strong, actually. What are we... that's just a pretty much a straight-on headwind, actually. So, yeah, no crosswind to worry about. Altimeter is 1024. Oop. Nope, come on. 1024, 1024, and 1024. There we go. And brief the departure. Alright, pull up the Navigraph overlay for this. So, out of Johannesburg here, we got 21 right. So, climbing straight ahead, runway track. At 9 miles Johannesburg, it'll be a right around to a 291 heading. Then, 3 Bravo, intercepting the 262 outbound from Johannesburg here to the Rigel intersection, which is 40 DME. Do we have a top altitude? Yeah, top altitude 8,000. And, yep, full LNAV departure. I'll hide that overlay now. I'm being extra careful, hopefully, to make sure I hide that every single time I pop this up after the terrible mistake I made last stream when I hid the departure for 10 minutes. That was amazing. Alright, top altitude 8,000, and nav, flight director's on. Very good. GPS primary, IRS is aligned, and APU is available now, so we'll pop on the APU bleed, disconnect the external powers, and we can dismiss those and the chocks as well. I think I'll have to close the doors. Yeah, there we go. Alright, gonna be real quick to take a chug of water here. Alright, so, let's see. How's the refueling? Refueling's complete. Alright, pop on the seatbelt signs, there we go. And let's get the performance figured out then. So, down here on the init B, we're looking at a zero fuel weight of 218.2 tons. Oops. 218.2 with a zero fuel weight CG of 25 even. 25.0. Blot fuel again 33.5. Perfect. Next up, it'll be the takeoff performance. So, let's go takeoff performance, 21 right, anti-ice off, runway dry, air conditioning on, and compute. There we go. V1 and VR matching when we're this lightly loaded. The last time I flew out of Johannesburg here, I was also in an A340. This was a couple weeks ago now, or last month actually. It was a Cathay Pacific A340, which is like a, what was it, a 14-hour flight or something to Hong Kong, which was at the absolute max of the fuel tank capacity. And I just about overran the edge of the runway. It was like a solid 90-second takeoff roll. So it's going to be interesting to see how this performs in comparison when we're only a tiny fraction of the fuel tanks loaded. Like, I don't even think we have anything in the... Well, of course we won't have anything in the center tanks. What we have here? Like, yeah, only 6 in the wings. Nothing in the center tanks. Yep, this is going to be interesting to be just an absolute rocket in the A340 this time around. I wasn't even clearing like over 1,000 feet per minute the entire climb. It was so sluggish. What will the cruise out be? It is going to be 380. So 38,000 feet. Alright, now for the takeoff performance here. Yeah, again, V1, I got V-speeds 160, 160, 163, trim up 2.9. Flaps 1, flex 55. Alright. V1, 160, rotating at 160. V2, 163. Transition altitude is 8,000? Yes, 8,000. We got flaps 1, trim up 2.9. And flex temperature 55. Oops. It's F55 on the A340 here. There we go. This, oh my goodness, I completely forgot to mention this in my opening spiel monologue. So, for the A340 here, this is using a custom sound pack here by HKK, the same developer behind the KOSP sound packs for the entire A320 family that just came out a few months ago. So, this is a slightly older project, but it is still so gorgeous. It is such an improvement over the default A340 sounds. All of the cockpit switches and the environment and everything. The engines are just amazing. It is so good. It is so fun. Just made a world of a difference, and it is entirely free of charge. I have a link to it down in the description below there, but absolutely recommend. Flying the A340 is nothing without it. And I wish I had remembered that back in my opening spiel, but oops. Oh well. Alright, lastly for this here, I will see if I can pull up the... Yes, here we go. NADP information for Johannesburg here. So, it's an NADP... I always mess it up. NADP 2 departure. So we got thrust reduction 6560, and acceleration at 6560. And engine out acceleration is going to be 7100. There we go. Very cool. I think that's everything for us here. So... You know what? Why don't we do a little walk around, just for fun? It's gonna take its time in the... Oops, and I closed the door. I do not care enough to open it. Of course, we don't have the jetway connected because the stupid thing doesn't want to connect, so I can't walk down the stairs like a normal person. Why is that floating? It's floating a solid foot off the ground. High quality activities in X-Plane today. Anyways. Well, here's our A340. Look at those just massive nose gear here. Just huge wheels. Now, of course, I have no idea what I'm doing with the walk around. I don't know any of the procedures at all, so... And, I mean, it's a flight sim. Nothing's going to be out of place at all, but... There's the pitot tubes. It's a pitot tube. It doesn't... It's a flight sim. It's not gonna... Anyways. I just find them fun to have a look around the aircraft. It really gives you a sense of scale of everything, too. And now, of course, when it's an A340 like this, it takes forever to get anywhere. I'm going as fast as my little legs will carry me. There's the beacon light on the other side. 3 static ports back to back. Huge Trent 500s. 500s, right? Oh dear, I'm pretty sure they're 500s. Pretty much the only Trent I can nail is the 700 on the A330. I swear, every other Trent I always get messed up, like between the 777s and the A340-600. It's gotta be a 500, right? Hang on. A340-600 engines. This is gonna be make me mad if I don't look it up. Trent 500, yeah, okay, I got it. ToLiss modeling is a little low poly as usual, but oh well. I've been spoiled by the Phoenix. Wingtips all the way up there. Maybe this was a mistake. This is taking forever to get around. Ah well. Love this extra pylon on the 340 flaps. Here's our mains and the dual bogey main landing gear on the 600. Is that a glitch in the model? So it is. There's a hole in the fuselage model. That's interesting. Thank you, ToLiss. What are those? Are those the pack outflow valves, I think? Whatever those are, they're open. APU door opened on the tail cone here. Uh-oh. Huh, I wonder if this is an older livery or something, because yeah, the rudder's a little misaligned there on the paint kit. Yeah, this is GSSNG by Tom Collins for the A340 here. His work on liveries is always amazing. He does like custom normal maps and texturing for a lot of his newer liveries and everything. Just gives it such a nice shine in X-Plane 12 especially, where the default texturing from ToLiss has kind of been a little lackluster especially, but oh well. Here's another door opened. Yeah, it looks like another pack outflow valve of some kind. I don't know a whole lot about the details on the A340, but always interesting to have a look and see. There's the fuel dump nozzle on the outer fairing there. I'm just going to skip right on ahead here because I'm wasting too much time with this. I'll pretend that those two engines are good to go. Bup, 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 bup. Super speed. There we go. Wow. I'm so good at running. Alright. Let's get the door closed here, and locked. Come on. Was it already in the lock position? So it is. That's odd for sure. How did I open it before when it was unlocked? I don't know. That's interesting. Maybe it's because the aircraft didn't have power established. Anyways. How much was the ToLiss? This is, I think, $90 at full price. But I waited about a year after it launched. Let me see. Yeah, full price is $90, but I waited about a year after launch because I was so busy with college that I just didn't really have the time to anyways. So I got it the summer afterwards for, like, I think 20 or 30 off. Still a good chunk of money, but it definitely made it much more affordable. Yes, I cannot wait to make the A340s in Minecraft. So the problem with the 340s right now, and most of the Airbus family too actually, is it's all held up because the A300 tailcone family is a pain in the backside. Because all of the especially the A330, where the airport planning manual and everything is, the whole aircraft is at a forward tilt, right? So it's such a pain to work out backwards the correct curvature for the tailcone. So I remember a couple years ago, Zap just axed our old design entirely, and we've been just sitting on that for ages. We've never gotten around to actually updating it. So all of that, the A300, the A330, the A340s, are all just stuck on figuring out that terrible shaping. So we've just been kind of concentrating on Boeings for the longest time instead. I really hope we can get it figured out someday, though, but yeah, the A340s are just so awesome. So, what was I doing? Yeah, doors closed and locked. Let's call for pushback. I think we're good to go. Performance is all done. Yep, refuse available.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
So we'll push back here onto, what is this? Is this an actual taxi lane? Yeah, apron echo taxi lane. No, so it's just into the apron. Oh well, alright, we'll push out here facing east.
Ground to cockpit. Toes driving up.
And we'll get the beacon light on. And flight plan up on the right box. Not a whole lot else to manage before pushback though on the Airbus series. Our old A330 tailcone is pretty much entirely wrong. It's all slightly improperly dimensioned, just enough to the point that if we tried to use it for anything, it'd just throw so much off. We have to redo the entire thing from scratch. So that's what it's all sitting on. And because that's more of a big time investment, we've just been focusing on tidying up other families that are a much lower time investment than that, because we're all so busy with real life and everything.
Ready to connect.
But, yep. Because we can't just wing it and make it like, oh, that's good enough or whatever. It kind of has the correct curvature. We always push ourselves to have the perfect layering and shaping possible for the scale. So to try to do anything less would just throw it all off for us, unfortunately, but yep, that's the story. Alright, pushback TUD should be connecting up here. Yep. Come on, take your time.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Yay, there we go. Alright. I have to pull up all the way here. This parking brake's so far back on the pedestal.
Starting pushback.
Parking brake off.
Engines.
Here's where the fun begins on the A340, starting 2 engines at once. This is awesome. Alright, start to switch to start, and starting 3 and 4. And 3. Actually, I'm going to poke my head behind here so we can hear the warble of the fuel introduction. Fuel. EGT is rising. What a beautiful sound. Love it so much. N1, which should have been called out 10 N1 ago, but oh well. I wanted to listen to the engines. Good start on 3 and 4. Starting 1 and 2. Come on. There we go. N2. Or N3 actually is the call out I should be making on the trends here. Fuel. EGT is rising. N1. Oil pressure. Good start on 1 and 2.
Set parking brake.
Parking brake set. There goes the automatic trim setting.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Very good. Alright. Set flaps 1 for departure. Disconnect the tug. Flight control check. We'll go back, forward, left, right.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed.
Left
Handling
rudder.
on the right. We'll see you next time.
And
Have a lucky
right rudder.
flight.
Flight controls free and correct. Have a look at that from the outside. Or from the back, rather. Oh yeah. Look at that huge wall of spoilers there. It's such a beautiful aircraft. I love it so much. Alright, where's that TUD going? There they are. And there's the pin. So, I will pull up the charts once more here. So right here on the Apron Echo taxi lane, facing east. So we've got kind of a longer taxi ahead of us here, so we'll head out here at Delta, it looks like, and skip that first left on the... Well, is that a left on the apron or no? No, I don't think it is. So it's just straight out there at that exit and then a left on Alpha all the way down. Like, what's that? 2-mile taxi all the way to the end there. And then hold short 2 on right at Alpha. Alright. And this time, I am disabling Navigraph, and I am checking Streamlabs, and the charts are hidden. Okay, very cool. I don't have charts obscuring the entire stream to mess up the whole departure this time around. Oh dear. Alright. Nose light to taxi. Release the parking brake. And let's roll. Ooh. Doesn't take a lot of engine power to get going when we're this light. Usually have to just blast it like 40% N1 to get anywhere, but not a whole lot of inertia on this thing today. Near empty fuel tanks. Well, near empty. We're still carrying like the weight of a regional jet in the fuel tank, but it's light for an A340, that's for sure. Now I'll add a bit more power in. We can take a higher speed taxi down this one here. Maybe about 30 knots or so, just since it's so long. Is the cargo apron up on that side? Alright. Auto brakes RTO. Arm the speed brakes. Takeoff config normal. Excuse me as I belch into the microphone. Oh goodness. Yeah, these engines are something else. That warble on spool up is just beautiful. Listen to that. Second coolest engines ever. Because the RB211s will always be best. Alright, where are we now? Oh, I missed the sign for that one. Next is Gulf 10. Oh, we're about halfway there already, actually. Not too bad. It's definitely be interesting as well to see how short the takeoff roll is this time around in comparison. Because I've done, like, I don't know, 7-8 hour sectors in the A340 where it just climbs like a rocket. So this is a 2-hour run. It is going to be a world of a difference. Okay, trends too, maybe. I guess I am partial to exhaust mixers. Actually, coming up on the end of it here, I'll start squeezing on the brakes. Hold down to about 20 knots or so. Alright, here we are. Alright, let's say clear for takeoff 2-1 right. So, strobes on. Whoa, that was a terrible job of following the center line. Oh my goodness. Clear left, clear right, clear right. Except I don't have any AI traffic, so it doesn't matter anyways. Landing lights on. Nose lights to takeoff, and wing lights on. Start the clock. now I can start turning around for the lineup on this absolute sizable aircraft. And I still undershot it. Ah well. Alright, oops, I forgot to turn on the transponder. There we go, very good. And predictive wind shear on. Don't need to worry about a weather radar. Clear skies. Alright. 40% N1. Stable. Manflex 55, SRS runway, autothrust blue. Listen to that. Airspeed is alive. Takeoff power set. .100 knots. V1, rotate. Positive rate, gear up, nav. Woo! 2,300 feet per minute. Doesn't get much better than that. First climb, climb. Coming up on 8,000 already. Gotta dial that up. Let's go to 190 for now. Yeah, this is nuts. There's the S-speed. Let's go flaps clean. Flyby as well. Woo! Right. Ooh, got a pitch up there to hold 250. Above the transition altitude already, pull standard. Might as well get the autopilot in before this turn here. The outskirts of Johannesburg below. Yeah, the color matching out here, unfortunately, on Ortho Core at speed at least. I'm using the Google imagery source, but it's still not the greatest. I'm going between brown and green here. Good satellite imagery. Alright, there's 10,000. We'll get the nose lights off. Actually, yeah, after takeoff first, nose lights off. Gear up, no lights. Auto brakes off. Disarm the speed brakes with radar not required. Alright, landing lights off, wing lights off. Seatbelt signs off. Oh my goodness, I'm a doofus. I forgot to... Wow, I rarely do that one. Alright, APU bleed off, APU off. Start switch to norm. Oops. I forgot to do the after start. That's embarrassing. Of course it wouldn't be a pop-tart stream without something going wrong like that. That's funny. Oh well. Alright, what was I doing there? Yep, landing lights off, wing lights off, seatbelt signs off, take the cabin crew. Lovely. Alright. As bad as the color consistency is, though, the imagery itself is pretty good. Lovely. Pop-Tart moment indeed. Alright, how are we looking? 2,000. Page here. Oh, I should have double-checked this as well. Yeah, flight level 380, that's at the optimum 380, max 410. All good. Oh, I should have checked as well how the audio balance is doing. Yeah, I probably should have bumped down the desktop audio a little bit. Was that... So, just for reference... Huh? It's standard! It says standard! My goodness. Yeah, we'll probably have to have a replay on that takeoff there to make sure the audio balance was decent enough. I'm guessing it wasn't because the... Oh, it was. Okay, that's good to know then. Yeah, it looked like the volumes were drowning out each other in Streamlabs, but it's hard to tell too much from just a bar graph, so... Good to know. Alright, coming up on... there. I'll just go ahead and set 380 right now. Way up to climb. Altimeters are already set to standard. That is absolutely everything. So... Good evening. Oh goodness. Well, congratulations on completing that. And thank you. That's so cool. It's been a long time since the Concord tutorial. Glad to see it's still providing enjoyment. And speaking of Aeroteam building, I think it is indeed time. So I'm gonna pop over here to the settings here real quick and arm the auto pause at top of descent, just in case I get too wrapped up in building and get lost and overshoot by 30 minutes. But thank you for that insight, Oliver. Alright. I'll go ahead and mute the X-Plane audio there. Pull off into a somewhat nice angle for... Oh goodness, excuse me as I belch into the microphone again. Oh dear. Anyways, I'll leave it right around there maybe. And now, I shall connect to the glorious Aeroteam server. And... pull up Streamlabs like a professional streamer. And give this a go. Oh, here we are. So how does this overlay work for a stream setup? I tried doing it in the top right corner. Actually, yeah, of course, what am I thinking? I was like, oh, I can try putting it in the full background and then making Minecraft minimized over it, but the aircraft is in the center of it, so Minecraft would just be covering it. That would be stupid. So I will not be doing that, actually. But, otherwise... Actually, oh, what I should do, actually, is bring this over to the right side. I think that should still work with Streamlabs there. Yeah. Music? What music? Oh, shoot! I forgot. Oops, I forgot Quill had the, Nope, mute, there we go. Hopefully that's non-copyrighted. Oh dear. I forgot Quill had the, music file from the last time we... Because Streamlabs is all synced on the cloud, right? So I'm using the Minecraft scene that Quill last used for the Aeroteam presidential election live stream. So the background music was still left in there. Oopsie. So that is muted now. My apologies. I couldn't hear it on Streamlabs because it just plays through the stream, but thank you for pointing that out, actually. That would have been embarrassing. Okay, very cool. I mean, it's not like the copyright matters because we've only got 90 subscribers. It's not like we're monetized on this channel, but like, in the future, I guess, it'd be good as a fallback, so I don't have to mute that section of audio or whatever. Just like, yeah, with that, I mean, yeah, again, it's like we're a nice little happy small channel. It's very low stakes and all that, you know. I don't have to worry too much about messing up, and that's what I said on the first live stream when we had like 30 subscribers, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be such a nice, happy, laid-back, chill stream. I can mess up. I won't make a fool of myself because nobody's going to notice. And then that stream got 1,000 views. So, like, ooh, that's embarrassing. So, I kind of have to be a bit more careful. Ah, okay. I couldn't yeah, I couldn't check for sure. I don't know what music it's actually playing. It just says media file on the Streamlabs output. So, because I know the Quill did a City Skyline stream a couple months ago, and that one got all copyright striked with all kinds of stuff. But yeah. Oh well. Okay, so we are. So here, speech. So here we are. This is my third plot on the Aeroteam server, where I've just basically spammed a bunch of private jets in the last couple of months. Well, in the last month at least. And a BAC 111. That was fun. But oh, it is Kevin McLeod. Okay, we're good then. But yeah, so the plan for today is to get started on a Learjet 23, which is it's an older, rare one. Well, of course, it's the oldest, the first Learjet, but that'll provide a good basis for the rest of the family as a nose and fuselage cross section to keep on using. So kind of like what I did with the citations over there. But yeah, I think I'm going to start a Learjet line to the right over here. I've kind of got like Cessna, Embraer, random, like that's just a Cirrus line, so I'll probably just throw other random stuff in there. Well, I say lines, it has zero organization at all. It's just thrown in a grass world, but oh well. Beechcraft, Bombardier, and Dassault. But yeah, so we'll just start something here for now. I swear, I'm gonna get to making it somewhat nice later on, but oops, I have to clear all this out. This is from when I was working on the British Airways livery for the A320 thumbnail last week. So for the Learjet here, the plan is, how I've been doing these so far, I have a wonderful piece of software called Perper, which was developed by our very own GaoJB. It is very cool. It is a, it's basically an automatic pixel counter. So it takes blueprints that are out there, and you can input dimensions and measure everything to the block. So I have a Learjet 23 diagram set. Now, these diagrams are, of course, like the APM diagrams. They're not exactly too great to use for references, but when it's only 1.5 to 1 scale like this, and they're so small anyways, the smallest little difference won't really make a block of a difference at all anyways, so I just kind of go with it. But of course, double checking everything with reference pictures to make sure, but yeah. Do you plan on doing any more 1.5 to 1 prop aircraft like the ATR-72 in the future? I would love to. Our old ATR family is outdated, I believe, and I don't think we ever finished off an interior on it in the first place, so we still have to finish off the ATRs, but I would very much like to. The ATRs are awesome, and that would especially go well with our Q400. But, yep. Still have to finish off the base aircraft first before getting around to a tutorial. Excuse me there, just took a small drink of water. So, let's see. First, I'm going to pull up the Wikipedia dimensions here. I'll just start off somewhere around here. I'll grab some concrete markers. I'm going to try to do this somewhat professionally. For these, I've kind of just pulled up a chair at like 11 o'clock at night and just cranked away on him in a very lackluster manner, but oh well. I'm going to try to do this a bit more professionally as I'm endeavoring to not make a fool of myself on stream. But first of all, our length is going to be 13.18 meters, which is going to be 20 blocks, so we'll stack 19. Then our wingspan is 10.84 meters, so that'll be 16, round to 17. So 8 blocks in each direction, and 17 block wingspan, yeah, alright. And then our height in total is 3.84 meters, which will be 5.76 blocks. Yeah, round to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the footprint we're working with. Did I just put? I'm stupid. 4, 5, 6. There we go. I was like, oh, that looks a little bit stubby for a jet. That's much better. That would have been seriously embarrassing had I not noticed that. Yeah, let's see here. So, first of all, well, the other interesting thing with dimensioning here too is going to be that. Oops, I forgot to set back up my passive view on the... Yeah, so there's the cutoff of the ortho at 4 SP tile. So here's into the abysmal Let's Play default scenery for the next solid hour. So very unenjoyable. So I'm just going to hide the ground and throw that up there in the corner. Yeah, SimToolkit Pro says I have about an hour to work with here. That should be enough to get a little bit of a start, at least, on the Learjet here. So, let us begin. I'm gonna grab some wool first here and make a fuselage cross-section. So we're looking at... We got 2.47 meter width on the cabin here, so it's going to be about 3 blocks. We'll just round it to 3, so it's going to be a bit fat, but that's the best I can do. There's a slight downward slope on the ground, it looks like. That's going to be annoying, but hopefully it shouldn't be too much. I'm just going to make it flat anyways. It is... Let's see. 3.74 blocks off the ground is the top of the fuselage here, so I'll just make that 4. Yeah, it's a very flat vertical stabilizer on this thing. And then the ground clearance is 1 block even. So it's just going to be that kind of shape. Oh dear, that's interesting for sure. I'm not the best with small circles like this. I think... Let's see, if we do slabs like that, would that be too cornered off? Because I think just leaving it like that would be a bit too much of a divot for the routing. And we don't use stairs, or sideways stairs in our layering, because it's just terrible for shaping. I'm going to try doing it this way, with half slabs around. I think that should be round enough. It's a bit more edge-shaped as well in real life, so... yeah, that's too cornered off on the top, so I think that's going to be our best bet. Alright, now for the nose here. It is pretty much centered at the... Let's see, it's centered about 1.5 blocks off the ground, but it doesn't even make too much of a curvature there either. Let me pull up some better pictures. Yeah, it only barely curves here. Even a trapdoor might be too much for... A trapdoor, what am I thinking? No, this is a full block layer. Grab these here. So this is going to go all the way to the front here. Yeah, I think it's going to have no taper at all at the bottom there, and it's just going to end up being a half slab or something. So, next I have to figure out this cockpit glass here. That's going to start... Officially, it's 2.5 blocks off the ground is the bottom, and... Oh good, 3.5 blocks off the ground too, so it can be a solid full block width. Some of these in the past year have been where they should have been only half a slab, but it just looks so wrong in this scale that I've had to fudge it around a bit. But, yeah. I'll grab the nether bricks here. Alright, and it starts... What's this? Pretty much 3 blocks back even, so right around here. I have to use some terracotta as well. Alright, let's see. So 3 blocks back spacing here. It starts on the 4th block, and it was... what, 2.5 blocks off the ground again? 2.5. Ooh, this would be interesting. It's gonna be like pushing up against the... this is gonna be another terrible shape, isn't it? Let's try this for now. So, yeah, that's 2.5, and then a half slab on top. I have a feeling that's gonna be... I'm embarrassing myself already, aren't I? Let's see. The glass is... yeah, it's 2.5 blocks long in total. I should probably, before even doing any of this, I should start out the layering here. Let's see, it looks like I want about 3 blocks. 2 to 3 on the nose before going into the outer layers. Even that might be pushing it, though. No, that looks pointy enough. Definitely not 3. That'd be way too pointy. Yeah, absolutely not. Let's do 2, and then into the outer layer. At the tail cone here, let's see. At the rear, it's going to end a block short of the... well, technically 0.8 blocks, but yeah, 1 block short of the aft there as it goes into the vertical stabilizer. Then I'm going to want about 4 blocks in total of that. 1, 2, 3, 4 before going into the outer layer. I think that's going to make the right curvature for the tail cone there. Yeah, that looks about right. Then, let's see, I'll bring that forwards a bit. So then I have to figure out what's going on here with this monstrosity. So the half slabs come all the way up to there. Oh man. Oh man, oh man. Okay, this is going to be a use of snow here for this. Because that's way too harsh of an angle for a Learjet nose, I can already tell what's going on there. Oh god. I was like, oh yeah, this will be such a useful aircraft to build on stream. It's going to be so cool. No, this is a nightmare already. Oh man, okay. So this is... it's kind of funny, though. This is kind of how everything started off with previously, and I sit here and I'll be like, what am I doing? Why am I here? This is a nightmare. But eventually it all kind of works itself out together. So it's just a matter of whether I can work it out on stream or afterwards. Knowing my luck, it'll probably just be a fool of myself on stream. But, oh well. Let's see. Use of coral fans can help in the tail design. Yeah, definitely. It'll probably end up being a vertical slab tail there, for especially for that slight little bit of curvature it goes past the end of the tail cone. Speaking of which, I'm just going to get that out of the way now, for the lateral diagram at least. That's going to go to there, and it does not curve down at all on the top. It looks like it just goes flat across. That's amazing. And we're going to want 11 blocks back before the curvature of the tail cone begins, which is right around there. So it's a very slopey tail. Now the other thing here is I don't exactly have to worry about how this ends too much, because it ends in a strake at the rear, so it's going to get covered up anyways in 1.5 to 1 scale here. So, oops, I had that already. So I'll grab some quartz here, and... no, oh, that's annoying, because the quartz is between 2. Because we have to keep the wool there for the tail cone itself. Oh man, alright. Because yeah, it's only a quarter block tip at the end here. So it might end up being just a full block of quartz at the rear. Huh, alright. Let's see. And once it leans into the curvature here at the base, it's going to be pretty much flat all the way up, so it doesn't curve any more than that. I'll try a 2-2-2 stagger. That's going to be pretty much it there. So it's just a matter of figuring out what's going on at the annoying rear end. In fact, I'm going to make this a... no, that'd be too harsh. But I think that's too thick already. Let's see. I'm going to do a quick test drop here. So at 14 blocks back, it should be 2 blocks tall. Right there, 2 blocks tall. Yeah, close enough. It'd actually be more like 1.5, but I'll see. I'll see. We can get to that later. It's harder for me to visualize a small tail cone like this, especially with that strake at the rear there. Just the whole strake amounts to about, yeah, a solid full block back there. This is gonna seriously mess up the layering at the rear. If I make it 2 quarts full blocks, then that a quartz tops up, that makes that angle all funny. Let me pull up some better reference pictures here. Man, finding those reference pictures is going to be a little tough, though. Here's a good one. Oh yeah, that's good. Alright. I'm not showing these on stream because I'm not entirely sure with how the copyright for that works. I imagine it falls under fair use, but I don't want to cause any trouble, so I'm just kind of building away here. But, yeah. Alright. I already have that all. Oops. I can clear that out. So now I can return my attention to this miserable nose. Kind of. I don't believe it'll be stairs for this curvature at the front here. Oh, it might be. 1 block, 1 block. Where does that fall? No, it's between block layers, isn't it? That's unfortunate. So yeah, about 3.5 up and... Oh, hang on. Where did I get that 4 block dimension from earlier? Am I loony? Am I goofy? What did I do? It looks like it should be 3.5, actually. I don't know where I measured from. Yeah, this should be 3.5. Okay. So, that was a mistake to do all of that ahead of time then. Oops. So, yeah, that's still going to be the cross-section we need, I think. Just going to make that shaping even worse. Alright, the bottom of the nose, the cockpit glass still lines up to 2.5 though, which is correct there. And it is 1 meter tall, pretty much exactly, a little short, 0.8 meters. So it might end up having to be fudged down to half a slab, but I don't think that would correctly portray the Learjet curvature. Oops. Where's my terracotta? There we go. Nope. There we go. Yeah, I don't think I can bring it up at all from there without the use of... Oop, why am I... Terracotta, not terracotta, dude. Trapdoors. Acacia trapdoors might give me that little bit of extra spacing I need. That'd mess up a little bit with the cross-section, though. It is a bit more of a kind of a squished cross-section looking at it head-on, though, from what I can see, so that might do it. But it looks like I need something more right there to get the Learjet shaping, which then means, of course, I need something showing on that side, so it is actually flat, and then that's too far forwards. This is not fun. I guess I could... Well, let's see. How far up does this bit of... supposed to go? Yeah, that's supposed to go up to 2.5 blocks too there for the nose right before it leads into the cockpit glass. So I don't have a lot of wiggle room to work with there, which is annoying. Oh, absolutely not. That looks terrible. All right. Then if that became a full block, and that became a 7-layer snow to push down a bit, and that was a 3. Nope, not a 3. That needs to be a half slab still. I'm not liking this. That definitely needs to be a full block there. Let's see, what does it do here? It kind of... No, it's pretty much a straight line all the way from there, so it can't curve too much. And the tip of that should still be... Well, no, 2.4 blocks. That might do it there. But then that makes too much of a wall from the front layering. I don't like the thickness of that, how that's lining up. Does it look like it needs more than a 0.5 there to get the Learjet shape? Because that looks too narrow, and that looks way too big. And because of where this falls in between block layers, we don't have anything else to work with. Let's see. Nope. I'm gonna flip this here and see how it looks from... Alright. That looks terrible. Let me see if I can find a good head-on. Here's a good comparison of... Yeah, I don't know about that. As in, I know that it's bad. Half slabs might be the way to go, and then a slab there instead of 3. It still looks too narrow and squished, but... And yeah, I can't put a carpet on top of that one to make it flush across or anything. Urgh, this is annoying. Although I wouldn't want a carpet there because I need the angled flat panel of the sharper Learjet curves. So it kind of has the right curvature now, but it's just not looking like a Learjet. It doesn't evoke Learjet. That's the problem. So... Let's see. Netherport stairs facing outwards, you say? Like in place of this slab here, or? Maybe. It still feels like it goes too far down, though. Because it's only in the top third, or whatever. Yeah, the top third-ish of the fuselage cross-section. Yeah, that kind of gives the more flatter outer panel curvature, but it makes it a little bit... I really wish this were like a half slab higher, so I could get some more trapdoors or carpets in here for something, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't like either of those. I'll come back to it here in a second. Alright, and then for snow curvature of that, yeah, that is exactly where it needs to be, right there on that half slab. So, yeah, I had to curve off the Falcon nose a little bit with snow there, but I'm not going to do the same thing here because it pretty much leans straight into that there with the cockpit glass layering. Now, I wonder if... Trapdoor there, or no trapdoors entirely. Oops. Gotta give it a little bit of that curvature. That just looks bad. This could work, maybe. That would kind of slim it off there and give it the more of that raised brow in the center that the Learjet has. I'll see. I'll see. For now, I'm going to bring this all the way back here. And, ooh, I think with that on a half slab there, that'll make the straight here at the rear a lot nicer to work with, come to think of it. So, I take a quartz stair there and a full block. How long should the straight be? Looks like about 3 blocks in length. But then that's straight into that. And yeah, it flattens off at the bottom. I'm gonna leave it at... I'll do a full block there. That might make things too goofy, but we'll see. For now, I'll bring the outer layer around to join. I think... Ooh! Yeah, that might do it actually right there. If we can work with a top slab there to merge off that layering, then... Ew. That's bad. It might end up needing to be 5 blocks taper at the rear here. I don't think it's that chunky, actually, come to realize. Oh yeah, no. Oh, I see what's going on here. That's where I was messing up with the taper. That's interesting. Yeah, because it does a 2-section taper, actually, where it tapers from the very tip here into an outermost platform where it flattens out for the engine pylons there before tapering out again to reach the outer layer. So I think I'll need to give it a few more blocks there to better reach the average. So that kind of midpoint there should actually realistically be about 8 or 9 blocks or so. Huh, that looks bad. We'll see about that. That might be asking a bit too much of the layering here. Oh, absolutely is. I don't like that at all. I'm going to do a midpoint there with about 7 blocks. That should do it. So if I knock that out, what can I do with this curvature here? So it looks like for the circular angle curvature, actually this kind of thing might work there with just a full block. Because I think that's going to be too off. That's going to be too pointy because it kind of more flows into an upwards corner, but not exactly that sharp. I think that might give the shape we're looking for here. We'll see. It's going to get covered up by the pylons anyways, isn't it? So it doesn't need to be too much of a worry. Not as much as it would on a larger scale aircraft, at least. Well, not larger scale, but airliner or whatever. Alright. Alright, I'll start with the door next here. So... Oh dear, excuse me. I'm so sorry. So the door here is going to be about 1.2 blocks width, so just 1, which is unfortunate. It'll be a bit skinny in this scale and not give the full look of the wide Learjet door. Oh dear, and it's at a 5.5 block back. How am I going to do this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. Okay, I'll just make it 6, because yeah, it has a little bit of a gap from the flight deck anyways. So it can be slightly off there, and then the single cabin window there is going to be right there. We're going to need carpets. Bring it all up. So when we have carpets on top with this right here, we'll bring it all the way to the edge like this, because otherwise if you have a carpet there, that makes the layering really off-grid, to where you have this nice, one step, and then this tiny little step there. It doesn't work well with the layering. So when we have carpets like this, we bring them all the way to the edge of the block to kind of conceal it, to make it look like it's just still a 1 block gap, but still blend in well enough. I'll need a black carpet again up here. There we go. Yeah, that's exactly where the window should be vertically, it looks like. Now as for the Learjet windows here... Ooh! Let's see. This is going to be a solid full block width, I think. It's only 0.6 tall in this scale, but because the Learjet windows are just huge... Oop, that's a terracotta. There we go. That's kind of a fun shape. It might need to be 2 corals. I can't tell. It looks like 0.5 is better for it, but... Oh yeah, that's way too big. Absolutely not. It's just stairs. So it's still not quite perfect because it should realistically be a little bit more rounded off, but this is kind of the best indication of the width of that there. Let's get a button on the door for that handle, from what I can tell of it. I'll do a little bit of detailing on the nose here just to make this a little bit less lifeless. Tripwire hooks out to the side for the pitot tubes, which are located right beneath the front of the cockpit glass, right around there. Should kind of be between block layers, maybe this block. Because that's too low, but this will be too high, way too high. Absolutely not, yeah. I think it's going to be down here is the best bet for the pitot tube there. And yeah, it's right in line with the front of the cockpit glass. Then forwards from that there, it looks like it's a tiny little static port with the stone button, so I'll drop that in there. And I'll just zoom in a bit. Actually, that might not be the pitot tube. I think that's an angle of attack vane. I'll still use the tripwire for it, though, for now at least. The pitot tube is definitely out to the side right there, though. That's the perfect placement for it. Okay, and on the right side... Oh, here's a good... Oh, yeah, okay. So the problem is so many of the Learjet pictures are from, like, the 60s, because it's such an old aircraft, it's hard to work with, but... Yeah, I think this is where we want to be. Ooh, and here's another good view as well. It looks like we have an antenna right beneath the... Although that might collide with the nose gear. I'll just place it here to start with, right underneath the front of the cockpit glass, right there. And we'll see how that collides with the landing gear later. Yeah, Okay, yeah, so then this will mirror on the other side, and I don't think that... Oops. Thank you, Minecraft. Come on. There we go. Nope. I don't know why I selected that one. That was dumb. There we go. I can't tell if that pitot tube by the nose mirrors that one. It's just outside of this picture I have here. Yeah, all these other pictures are so blurry, it's hard to find a modern close-up. They're all from the right side. No! Here's one! National Air and Space Museum. One hanging from the ceiling. Okay. Oh, interesting. It's just one on this side, and it's between the two, so it's actually going to be right there for alignment. And no static port on this side from what I can see. Yeah, that's going to do it for the right side detailing. Alright. How's our flight looking here? About a third of the way there, maybe it looks like. Yep. Still an hour to go. Alright. Pitot tube is insanely oversized, though. Yeah, it can get a bit odd in this scale. I still like to include them just for the extra detail, but they, yeah, it can be a trade-off sometimes. This one is definitely oversized. I think we're going to keep this as a tripwire, because it sticks out much farther. But that's just a tiny little AOA vane there. I'm going to switch... What can I do for this? It looks like it should be a stone button as well, but I kind of want to differentiate it from the static port there. I don't think there's anything else I can use, though. That isn't terribly oversized. Yeah, this would be a much easier detail to pull off on an airliner. I think I'm just going to use another stone button in its place. Because, yeah, it's such a tiny, tiny vane on that end. Alright. Let's see. So for the... Yeah, alright, I'm gonna do the vertical stabilizer now. Hey, wait a minute! How'd that happen? Where's that 2 blocks? When did I do that? Oh, I'm dumb. I'm so dumb. When I shaved off the, the top layer there that was full blocks that went all the way out to there, and I left behind that. Okay. So that needs to go out farther. That needs to go back farther. That needs to go across more. And let's see, so this should be a 2-3-2 kind of thing going on here. Maybe. Yeah, that's where the end of the tail should be. So actually, I probably need to stretch out the outer layer a bit more. That was an idiot mistake. Make that an upside down stair there. No, that messes with the outer layer. I'm gonna need to stretch that by a block each way, I think. Take that there, carpets, and there we go. Because yeah, even though the curvature starts at 11 blocks right there, it still doesn't lean into it immediately, so I think that's 11 blocks there is probably starting at too far forwards. So that kind of step there should be nicer. Now I have to visualize how this works here, so in order to merge up there, well, let's see. Yeah, it should be about, what have we got here? 12 blocks even right there. Yeah, that's good. Now, if we kind of consider this like half slabs here, go 2, 1, 2, 1. What am I doing? Pop-Tart moment. Ew. Alright, so we kind of want... let's do a 1 half slab there, then 2, 2, and 2 there before going into the full blocks. So we're going to want that to go back. And then that doesn't matter because it's with the quartz, but this just helps to visualize more. Because this still has to end in a half block tail cone right there, regardless of the strake at the rear. And that looks too thick now because of the strake. I am not enjoying this terribly much. Well, what am I doing? What did I do there? No, 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 no. Those should be top slabs. That's why it looked dumb. Okay. It looks a little bit goofy now because of the strake there, but it might look better once the... I'm going to push that bit layer back to where it used to be there. I think that'll do it more. Okay, now let's get the vertical stabilizer in here before I completely lose my mind. Yeah, 3.5 blocks above is right where that should land. That is perfect right there. Now, this is actually just going to have to go straight up, so that doesn't even matter anyway, so again, just helps to visualize how it's all lining up together. But that flat edge is going to go straight up there. To a line there, and then it looks like I'll start... Yeah, this will go half a block back. So I'll grab those coral fans again. Let's do 2 of those right there. And then that top surface is going to be about 3.5 blocks long exactly. So we got 1, 2, 3. And the 0.5. Ooh, lovely. Now the only problem is there's a tiny little pop out there, but for the horizontal stabilizer fairings, but I'm not sure if that'll be enough to replicate. And that will end... Let's see, it's going to be about a 45 degree. And we're going to want it to be 5 blocks forwards, ending right around there. Nope. And then the pack inlet is going to end... See, I'll dimension this one from the front, just since it's all lining up a little bit odd. 13 blocks from the front. Right there. That's an odd shape for sure. What about snow there instead? Just a 2-layer to kind of make it more of a harsh transition in. 3. A little better. It looks goofy at first glance because it's such a wide flat panel, but it kind of is on the Learjet anyways. So yeah, let's see what we're working with here. 4 blocks back. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's about the right width and everything there. And I'm going to fudge it a little bit since we have that top surface to work with there. Even though it's rounding up to 4 blocks, I think it can stretch out a little bit more just in the sake of curvature here, because we kind of need a little bit more curvature on the top there, especially if the horizontal stabilizers are going to be going in there. So, because yeah, it kind of has this rounded edge to it there. Oh, although we want the beacon light in on top right here. Grr. Annoying. What about a red carpet for the beacon light instead of a button and a snow there? No, that doesn't round well enough. Alright, I'll just leave it flat for now. Beacon light on top, and for the pack inlets, I don't know if there's any way I can adequately represent that curvature here. I think it's just going to have to do that kind of thing for now, because I can't place a button on there since it's below the half slab layer. Yeah, Alright. What I can try doing, though, I might use a smooth sandstone stair there for the... well, no, this isn't going to work, is it? Nah, that's not the right curvature. Because there's a little bit of the gray, unpainted anti-icing there on the vertical stabilizer. I kind of like to do that sometimes when I can, but it doesn't look like I can here because it ends below that slab layer there, so it just has the wrong curvature for it. I'll just leave it like that for now. And for the horizontal stabilizers, we're looking at a span of 7 blocks. This is going to land, let's see, the trailing edge is going to be 1 block clear of the end here. So starting from around there. Oh yeah, perfect. Then the span of 7, so 3, 5, 7. And it's going to be, the root at least is going to be 2 blocks in total, so right there. That might actually be the shape. Yeah, it's 1 block at the tip. Well, it's a bit goofy looking, but I guess it's what we have to work with here. I'm going to do trapdoors for the GA here. I think the wings are... great. Oh, I can't tell. The wings might be white, actually. Yeah, the wings are white. So I'll use smooth stone for the leading edge and trapdoors for the tail here. Or for the rest of the horizontal stabilizer. Oh my god, that looks awful. Yeah, it needs to be more down from the top of the vertical stabilizer there, but I can't really do that with trapdoors, or even slabs in general. Of course, that... yeah, I feel like even that would be too... yeah, even that's too high up, and I don't like the look of that. And I can't add anything onto it because I want that beacon light there. I might have to forego it. How long has the flight been, you're asking? It looks like it's been about 1 hour now since about 50 minutes since departure. So top of descent will be coming up in a little ways here, but we're only about a little over halfway through now. But yeah. 23:15 there. That's woo, that's pretty late. Yep, you should definitely sleep. Thank you for joining along, though. I've probably already missed you, but just in case you're watching this back at any time later, Padstow, I don't know. Oh, goodness. Yep, please don't ruin your sleep schedules on my account. Take care of yourselves. But, yep. Where'd my snow go? Why did I get rid of my snow? Let's see. Oops. If I do just a 1 there. See, that's kind of the right curvature. Maybe. There's a carpet on top for that extra bump. No, that's not the right curvature. I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh dear. I'm gonna use an upside down stair there, though, for that little bit of the extra, horizontal stabilizer fairing. Yeah, I don't like where this is all lining up. I really wish it was like a half slab lower or higher, so I could have, like that be a top slab, or a half slab layer with trapdoors coming out of it there, but, well, we can do this on the other side here. Yeah, it's not going to line up anywhere else, I don't think. Oh my goodness, I hate it when the server does this. There we go. Oops. Let me just double check the vertical alignment real quick. About 5.5 blocks. Yeah, so it should technically be kind of right in the middle of that layer there. But yeah, half slabs are too thick for it in this scale with these small stabilizers, but oh well. I'm going to do the engines here just to try to make it a little bit less weird so I can piece it together more. Engines are going to be 1 block diameter exactly. The leading edge is going to be 11 blocks back from the nose. Ooh, my voice is starting to go already. That's awesome. 11 blocks. There we go. So the engines will be right here. And 10.7. How high is that? Now I'm just going to use smooth stone for the leading edge. Well, let's see here. Where does this align? The top aligns with the top of the fuselage here. The bottom should be 2 blocks off the ground even, which is right there. Okay, so that's what we're working with here. Excellent. So I can use an acacia button for the spinner and intake there and everything. Perfect. And this engine is going to be 4 blocks long exactly. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll need a little bit of pylon in there. Let's see if I can get a good view of the pylon. I don't know if I can. I think I'm going to want the pylon on the bottom half, though. Looks like it should be spruce trapdoor colored. Alright, so now for the rest of this curvature, I'll worry about that later. It looks like it bulges to about 1.1 blocks, or 1.2 blocks in the center right here. So I'm going to use trapdoors for some of that curvature there. And it tapers off towards the rear there. And I'll put snow on the top there. That might be a little thick for the Learjet engines, I can't tell. Speaking of which, Learjet engines, what are these? General Electric CJ610s, that's good to know. Alright. No, I think that's about right. Yeah, it's a very skinny engine laterally, but yeah, it kind of squishes out flat. So this might do it here. Now for the exhaust at the rear, let's see. So it has about maybe a half a block of lycra, so I'll just have to use a full block of smooth stone maybe right there. For the thrust reverses here. Let's see. Although I don't know about that, because it kind of needs to taper down to a little less. No, that's probably the best we're going to be able to do here. Because, yeah, a slab would be way too tiny for that. I don't like the look of that, though. I want something a bit darker. Not quite stone brick. Maybe a regular stone. Ooh, yeah, that's it, I think. What did I use on the Challengers? Yeah, I used regular stone for that. I think I'm going to do the same here. And that'll help to accent it out from the pylons, too. Acacia button on the rear there, and... yeah, definitely no trapdoors on the side, because it's a very vertically squished engine. It doesn't bulge out to the sides at all, from what I can tell. Well, it kind of tapers a little bit, but that's because it should taper in more than a single block, but this is the best we can do in this scale, I think. And for details, let's see, there's a tiny little vent in the corner here. This will be a stone button, I think, right on the side there, from what I can tell at least. And it is symmetrical on the right side as well. Yes, okay. And, ooh, there's another underneath the leading edge here, I think. Let me get a better picture to double check. Of course, now I'm not going to find one. May I please have a Learjet 23 underside? I may not. Ah, well, it'd probably look goofy underneath that smooth stone anyways, so I'll leave that as it is. Now, the other thing I'm wondering about here, the door should be 1.5 blocks wide, so I might round it to 2 there even with that, just to give the more kind of flat panel look of the door here. I think I actually kind of like that, yeah. I'll see. I'll see. Let me get the nose gear in here now. Grab our wheel that we use and an armor stand. The nose gear is going to align right with the front of the... well, it should technically be between block layers here. It's 2.5 blocks back, so 2.5, maybe right around... oh, come on. Right around there. So yeah, it looks like it's kind of just forwards of the cockpit glass, from what I can tell. Yeah, I think that's a good alignment there. Then, I'm going to move this all off to the side. Drop our armor stand on top of it there for the struts. Now, how do I want to detail this? Let's see. Well, first of all, I'm going to drop a trapdoor underneath the second block back right there for the nose gear door. Technically, there should be one there as well, but I don't think... well, yeah, that's not going to work because we need to have the skull there. That's a little bit ugly looking, but yeah. So for the strut detailing now, it looks like I'm going to use iron boots on the base there, I think. And I might leave the top there. Yeah, I'm going to leave the legs unarmored for this thinner bit of the struts connecting up there. And the feet with the iron boots there for the kind of larger pad of the nose gear strut there, it looks like. From what I can tell. It's always annoying to try to do nose gear like this in this small of a scale, but well, I'll leave it like that for now. Alright. Next up here. Let's see, how are we looking on time? Yeah, we still got a ways to go on the flight still, so I'm going to do the wings now. Let me get my vertical view scale up here. So, yep, time for the wings. Alright, so the leading edge of the wings should align 8 blocks back, or with an 8 block space at least, so right there, starting there. Right in line with that. Okay, awesome. So that's pretty much placed where we need it to be, because it's kind of straddling the leading edge of the wing. Love that. And now we're going to do the wings themselves first without the fuel pods on the ends. So that'll be a 13 block span here. What? Huh. Oh, right. Yeah, this is another one of those where it's annoying to use the schematics that are drawn from it, because the schematic is slightly off scale. The length is correct for the top-down vertical view. Well, I mean, not the length is correct, but when it's corrected for the length of the top-down vertical view, the wingspan is like... Yeah, it says 10.33 meters for the wingspan, when it should be 10.84 for the total wingspan. So the proportions are off on the top-down view of the schematic I'm working with. So it's just going to have to get fudged a bit. Oh well, regardless. So with the fuel pods being about a block width, yeah, 1 block width there. Pop out to the sides here. So yeah, I'll end it here-ish, and this should be 9 blocks back. Okay, so it only tapers, well, 9.5 blocks. Well, I'll see. I'll drop a... Nope, not there. I'll drop a marker there for now and do a 3-3 layering to start with on the leading edge. But that looks like it might taper... No, actually, that's pretty alright, to be honest. I'll leave it at that for now. Alright, then we want a length of 2 on the tip here, which should give us a trailing edge landing at 12 blocks exactly. Uh-oh. Oh, that's annoying. I hate it when things don't line up. Okay, so 12 blocks should land there. And yeah, it should be past the engines anyways. Yeah, that'll add up differently there, because yeah, it's a 2.5 spacing there on the leading edge, and then a 2.5 tip of the wing. Well, 2.3 blocks, but yeah, I'm gonna do that then. And then do a 2-2-2 layering on the leading edge. Yeah, I think that's better. And then this is going to be straight in. The trailing edge of the wing does not taper at all. That's just going to go in right there. Okay, very cool. Yeah, that is right where we need to be. Alright, next up, I'll grab my slab materials here. So for the thickness of the wing here, what are we looking at? We're wanting the base to be about 1.25 blocks off the ground. But it's just going to be pretty much right in line with the trailing edge there. And then the top surface is going to be 2 blocks off the ground. 2 blocks. 1.86 blocks. So we might do a... I don't know about a too thick. It's a very razor-sharp wing design here. Yeah, that's not correct at all. That feels like it's too high. I think this is another case of the screwy schematics. So I'm just going to... Yeah, I'm going to just work from here. Yeah, I think that's right, and from pictures at least, that's right where the wings should be aligned. Well, it does bulge down a little bit for the... Oh, there is no wing box. Barely. There's barely a wing box. I see what's going on here. Huh. Interesting curvature indeed. I don't know. I'll worry about that in a second. I want to get the leading edge done here first, though. It doesn't look like it's going to flex out too much. No, we want to be 2 blocks off the ground at the tip here, though. Right there. Alright, let me follow this around here, and I'll start with that. I'm not going to do a flex diagram for a wing this tiny. That's just way too much work. But what we can do is fill in the trailing edge here and then fix up the layering a little bit. For the flex there, yeah, I'm going to make that how that goes so that can then kind of do a little taper just like that. Let's see. I think that's about where we want it. I'll merge this up now with the wing there. And yeah, I think it's just going straight in there at the base. We'll do it for the... maybe a upside down stair would do it. Although that makes that corner of the layering bad. I'm going to do an upside-down stair facing forwards right there, I think. Because it really doesn't bulge too much at all for the wingbots on the underside, from what I can tell at least, but that does a little bit. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, and then where that connects in there, that's going to be interesting too, because that's going to mess up the layering on the underside there. That connects into the... I should have done the wings first, shouldn't I? Anyways, well, that'll give us our stubby and fat Learjet wings right here. That's looking pretty good for how Learjet proportions should be working, I think. Well, Lear 23 proportions at least. Now I'll put in the fuel pods here. So this will be 7 blocks long in total, going 1.5 past the trailing edge and 3 forwards from the leading edge. Oops, I'm measuring from the wrong side again. 6.5 blocks, okay. And the diameter of this is going to be about 1 block exactly. Now, is it here? Or... Ooh, this is going to be tricky, because it needs to be, like, aligned very halfway with the tip there. Let's see, the bottom of this is going to be about 1.5 off the ground. Maybe I'll have to do something like that. Yeah, I think that's going to be... What if I did full blocks there and then... No, that'd make it too thick then. I'm just going to do tops, or slabs on each edge there to match up with that, I think. How annoying. Alright, I'm going to dimension again from the nose of the aircraft here, just to make sure this is all lining up correctly. So it should be 7 blocks back from the nose here. 6, 7, lining up right there. I'll redetail this in a second once I get the everything finished. And then from there, then we need 7 blocks length. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, now for the shaping of these miserable things. Let's see, what do we have going on here? It looks like we're going to want... Let's try this. Let's do a trapdoor on the front. Oh, I can already tell that's not going to work. Oh, nope, that's floating. I kind of want a button there because it looks like every Learjet... Oh, speaking of which, let's drop a button on the... No, that looks bad. Because it looks like every Learjet has a black tip, or Learjet 23 has a black tip nose and black tip fuel tank. But just the tiniest little splotch. The size varies by livery, though. I'm just going to leave it up as a livery thing, I think. Yeah, there's a Lear 23 without a black tip nose, so... I don't know. Yeah, I'll leave it without that then. So, let's do trapdoor there, trapdoor there. That's going to kind of taper that off a bit. Yeah, that's about the shape we want for the front of the fuel pod fairing there. Now for the rear here, this is where it gets interesting because it both tapers off more sharply to a tiny corner and has small fins pointing out to the sides. And I think here's where I might have to fudge the detailing a little bit because I want it to go beyond that, but I don't think the wings can go any closer together for... Yeah, I don't want that a blot shorter, even though we already rounded up. This might be something I have to revise later after the stream, but... Oh well. Alright, let me figure out this fuel pod shape here first. Grab the snow. So we want a... I'm going to do a trapdoor there and a carpet on top, maybe just to give a more of a very sharp angle right there. And then maybe a trapdoor with 2 snow there. That might be too too sharp. No, it looks like it... Oh, it actually kind of does have that shape where it angles the center more kind of downwards like this. I can't tell for sure, though. How long does this curvature last? Oh, it's only about 1 block in length, actually. That'll be even harder to pull off. If so, I might just leave it... Because then it's just the same shape as the front otherwise. Anyways. If we do a single snow there... Oops. Single snow there and pop a carpet out to the side for that little tiny streak there. Yeah, that looks like about the shape of the streak that we want. Right on the tip of that there. Interesting, and it kind of flattens out into that streak for the fairing here. Yeah, from pictures it looks like the tapering actually starts right in line with the trailing edge, so I'm going to go with that for this shape, I think. Goodness, my voice is dying. Let me take another chug of water. Alright. Hello, Tino! Sorry I'm late to the chat. I don't have chat entirely up right now on the stream as my monitors are just covered with all the references I'm using. So, I'm getting so wrapped up into this I'm forgetting to check the... Oops, that layering's bad. There we go, that's better. Forgot to flesh it out from the underside. But yeah, so that should kind of do it for this, I think. I don't really know what better to do with that weird fairing shape there. I'm just going to flip this for now. There we go. And on the right side, we don't have that door there. And we are going to... Oops, I need to fill in that, and then the upside-down stair there. So on the right side, since we don't have that door, it is going to be 2 windows instead, and the rear one is aligned with the left one. Slightly off-center, but not enough for 1.5 to 1 at least. So we're going to want that there. And then another one forwards from it, right there. And it's aligned halfway between the front of the door. I think that's going to be about the best that'll do here. Carpet on this side as well. It should be only 0.5 block spacing there, probably, from what I can tell. But, although, no, it is about the same spacing apart. It's just throwing me because it looks like it should be more round, but I just can't do the vertical slabs there for a full 1x1 box. Oh, excuse me. Because it's separated between half slab layers. Weird. Alright. Well, I'll leave it at that for now. And then, yeah, there's nothing else going on right there. It's just flat wool wall. Speaking of which, though, I do need to finish up the trailing edge detailing here. So the flaps go all the way to the inboard section right there. Oops. And it breaks off into the outer aileron right around there. Will that do it for the flaps? Technically, there's no gap at all between the flaps and the ailerons, but I'd rather keep that slab there just to kind of differentiate them a little bit. I think that should be enough length for the flaps. Yeah, I don't know. I'll do that for now. Alright, 1, 2, 3, and top slab there. Let's merge that up, and now I can revisit this outer layer curvature now that we have the wing box kind of figured out where it's going. I'm going to want a top slab right there to blend up with that regardless. Oops, those 2 trapdoors there for the pylon. Half slab there. No, not exactly. Oops. It does kind of have a flatter shape at the base there, so I might keep that. But I don't want it to be a full 1.5 block tall curvature right there. Maybe I will make that a slab. That looks odd with the pylon, though. I thought it'd be easier once I had the engine in place, but now it's just obscuring it, so I have a harder time visualizing what's going on there. Maybe a wool stair there. To kind of have that more sharp curvature up towards the top right corner. I think that might do it. Because, yeah, the curvature kind of starts, for the tail cone at least, it tapers right around halfway where the engine sits. Now, the only problem is that looks kind of awful where the carpets meet up there. So I don't like that part. But it might be the best I can do for now. Again, I'll probably be tweaking this a lot more off camera, but... annoying. Next, since we have one block space to work with right there, I can't tell if the bottom bulges or anything for the underside of the wing here. It looks like the fuselage is just a straight shot across. It might... No, it really looks like it's a straight shot across. So I think that's going to do it for the underside right there. Even though I want to put trapdoors under there because there's a little bit of a gap between where the wing root comes in and the base of the fuselage, I don't think I can replicate that in this scale. Try to get a better side-on picture here. Yeah, I don't want to move the wing root any farther up either, and I can't use trapdoors for it because it's between block layers. Just, yeah, I need to have that full block space between that and the base of the window there. And it's pretty much right in line with the... What an annoying little plane to build. Well, it's a fun challenge at least. Mostly fun. But yeah. Let's see. Here's a better side-on view I can use at least for the underside detailing. Let's get the beacon light in here, which will be one block forwards from the wing root right behind the door, which is right there. Behind this, I'll grab a lever, and let's see. We have two small little antenna details forwards from this here. I think those are about jungle button size and coloration. Yeah, definitely. Probably parallel like that, just tiny little bit sticking out. It's really hard because all these pictures are so fuzzy, but I think that'll do it. There's another something right there, but I can't quite tell what it is. I'm going to do one more of these. It's a really studded fuselage on the underside there with all the details there. Weird. And then, speaking of studded with details, there will be one more antenna on the underside right there in line with that block. Yeah, right there. There's a much larger antenna sticking out. Then we have oh, that's a weird antenna shape right there. That's going to be right in line with the end of the engines right there. It's going to be sticking out like this. I'm going to try this. I'm going to drop a chain off the end of that right there. It's this weird thing. It's a long antenna that goes straight down and then sticks straight backwards. I'm going to use that detail there, I think. It feels like it should be a bit thicker. The bottom of the fuselage there should be below the end of the engine, but I think that's because the engine should actually taper up a little bit more. But we can't replicate that with this block scale. Grr. Many, many problems. What I am going to do, though, is out to the side right here. There's a little bump detail that's in line with the leading edge right here. Yeah, that placement looks right. I'm going to use a stone button for that right there. Oops. Come on. There we go. That's probably about the best curvature for the tail we're going to get. I can't make it any thicker. It's going to be way too thick. How's that vertical stabilizer looking now that that's all coming together? That top bit there definitely feels too... I'm going to round that off there. I think I want it to be 2 trapdoors. Right there as it kind of comes up and wraps around like that. Now the other question is, should that be a top slab? Absolutely it should not. I'll leave it as an upside down stair. Yeah, that's not the right length for a top slab. It needs to be right there. It needs to come forwards by like the tiniest fraction of a block, but that's about where it'll end up. Ooh! Because those are trapdoors now instead of snow layers, I can use, I think it's the activator rail for the beacon light on top there. Yeah, that's much better. And that actually works because we use rails a lot for beacon light detailing. I don't think I have it anywhere here, but yeah, we have to do that sometimes as well. And that's actually what we used previously before we switched over to the button detailing too. So that'll preserve the curvature of that top bit there while giving the beacon light detailing. Okay, I like that. I don't like it too much, actually, come to think of it. But it's better than nothing. It's alright enough. It's okay for the scale, I think. What's that? That's the... Yeah, there's no surface on the underside there. It looks like there's a button detail under that. Bit of the... Now... These horizontal stabilizers look terrible. It's way too skinny there. I think I'm gonna do reverse of that. Yeah, that's way better. Because otherwise, without that, even though that technically is kind of right for the trailing edge outline there, it gives the impression of it being this tiny little thing and then sticking out at a weird angle there. So that makes it look much more cohesive and isn't too thick. Yeah, I like that a lot better. Alright. What else? I don't think there's any cargo doors on this. Yeah, I don't see any cargo door on the fuselage at all. So I guess it might all be interior. Ooh, here's a good reference. Kind of, it's tiny. Let's see. I'm gonna use a snow layer right there, see how that goes. Now it needs to... Because this fairing there should be about halfway above the horizontal stabilizers, but it's just because the stabilizers also have a bit of a downwards angle right there, but I can't get that downwards angle because it's at the edge of a slab layer there. I guess it'll just have to be a good old Minecraft approximate. Alright, what do we have going on here? On the top here, that's not a slab surface there. It looks like there's some button details I wish I could put along there, but it is not to be. I can use snow. There'll be about 5 snow layers in depth. There's one right forwards of that window there. One behind there. There should be a third between them, but I kind of don't want to replicate that because it makes it too flat. What if I push that one back there? No, that's too far back. I'm going to keep it like that, I think. That'll kind of give those little antennas on top. Now what's going on the tail cone there? It looks like there's a... Those are some huge static wicks, my goodness. It's like a solid block lawn static wick there sticking off the end of the tail cone at the... Regardless, speaking of which, that is something I should do now. So let me add in some static wicks there and 2 more there at the trailing edge of that. It doesn't look like there's any up at the top of the vertical stabilizer here, but they're down here. There's one on the bottom edge right there of that block. I'm just going to use a button for it. I'm not going to do anything too fancy. And one more down there coming off of the straight. Yeah. Okay, very good. And I can't tell what's going on with the static wicks on the wings because there's no good underside views of the Learjet. Yeah, annoying. There is a straight, not a straight, a wingtip fence. Wingtip fence, oh my goodness. Not a, just a wing fence somewhere right along this line right here. I'm not sure if I can replicate it accurately enough, but looks like right about there. Oh, you know what? That might actually go... Yeah, that's definitely on all models. Yeah, I see it now. The next question is whether it's at the merge of the... Because, yeah, it's not on the blueprints here, so I can't measure it. I still don't have any good underside views. Here's a good top-down view. And this one doesn't have that fence installed. Ah, that's annoying. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make it just a 1-block aileron there, and that'll extend out that flaps there to the 4 that it should be. 1-block aileron there. Oops, that should be a quartz top slab. Yeah, there we go. Then this strake is gonna go right here. Gonna do a trapdoor there, and I think a snow layer should do it, as it kind of tapers off towards the inside of the... Yeah, that looks good. No, it tapers upwards, doesn't it? Oh man, okay. I'll just use another trapdoor. I won't be able to make it taper at all, because I can't use a carpet for that, otherwise that'd stick out too much. That looks a little goofy with the forward layering right there. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like that too much. Especially where it does that. I'm gonna try bringing that a block in, I think. To there, and then making that step up there. Fill in that. How does that look from the front? I think it still looks okay. It's not as good, but that's almost too flat there. Well, 3-3. But then where it has that 4-2 curvature on the underside, that's a bit much. So I think this does a better job of keeping it kind of more straight and flat. Yeah, I'm gonna try that for now. Raise that, and then trapdoors for that fence. And fill in the underside layering there. Annoying shapes all the way around on this thing. My goodness. Alright. Why is the wingtip bigger than half the aircraft? You're asking. Yeah, it's these are the fuel pods on the end of the wingtips here. They're huge. So yeah, the early Learjets like these use these fuel pods out there for the additional fuel capacity. I'm not sure if it replaced the wing tank. I don't even know if they would have wing tanks. I'm not that knowledgeable on Learjets, but anyways, they had these fuel pods out here and they're big. So yep, that's the story. Yeah, they don't look too oversized from this angle, for me at least. And they're about 1 block by 1 block, and 1.5 to 1 measured them to be, so this should be accurate. I think, at least. But, yep. Alright. Okay, now that we've got that worked out, I'm going to try to figure out the static wicks again. Here's a good trailing edge view. Yeah. This is surprisingly high quality for a black and white photo from the 60s. Interesting. From this angle here. So yeah, that's right around where the pylons should line up. That's good, that's good. And there is a little bit of a bulge in the... There's the smallest little bulge in the wing box there. Not much at all. But this doesn't look too good, now that I see it. Yeah, I'm gonna want that to be a half slab there, which means those outer layers might have to come out. Trying to find some better references here. Here's a good view of the wings from this side. Yeah, it looks like it should be a little bit thicker at the tip, but I don't know if I can replicate that too well. Maybe if... I'm gonna try making this 3-3 on the layering in here. Oh, that looks so much better, actually. I think, at least from this angle, at least it looks better. It's still a little bit oversized, but I think it works better than 2 for sure. For a Learjet, at least, it's these just real fat wings on this thing. In fact, comparing this, I think my diagram's a little off scale, what it looks like. So yeah, I would definitely make this a 3 wingtip right there. Oops. There we go. And fix that up. Alright, I think this is going to be better for a Lear. Yeah, that's looking a lot more like a Lear. Now, this one also doesn't have those wingtip or wing fences installed, so it might be a an optional, well, not an optional. I mean a retrofit thing. But I think I'll include them all the same because it looks more detailed that way. All right. Yeah. Okay. One last thing here I'm gonna try doing is the main landing gear. So, where do these land? Let's measure this out. 10 blocks back with the center at... Oh, yeah, 10 blocks even. Okay. So that will be right in line with there. This is lining up funny. This is lining up real funny. Because it should be... Oh, yeah, I'm with the wrong scaling again. Here we go. Yeah, 10.5 with the center at 11. That's better. Okay, there we go. Because, yeah, it should be right in front of the engine. That looks good. That looks very good scale-wise. Okay, so that's where our main landing gear is going to be, and it's right out, kind of 3 block spacing, right in line with the engines, and it looks like it's going to be a skull width again. Yeah, a little less than, yeah, 0.8 by 0.8, so it's going to be a skull for those mains then. And then the centers are going to be about 4 blocks even, so yeah, 3.54, yeah, right there. Okay, so with that sorted, let me get a better look at these mains. So interesting, so we have, ooh, on the front here, I'm going to use a torch for the huge landing lights there on the front of that. Well, not huge, but decently sizable. It's not as big as that, but at least it should get the point across. And let's see, a trapdoor against the side there for the gear doors. I think that should do it. I don't have any room for any of the strut detailing there. Except for... I think if I drop down here, I can get the side strut in with that lever there. But yeah, I won't be able to connect it up with anything there. I can't use any armor stands on top. Because yeah, it should connect straight up into the base of the wing root there, and then with that side strut in, but I think that's the best I'm going to get in this scale. And underside detailing, or not underside, but well detailing with that is going to be difficult because it's on a single slab layer there. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for the mains. So let's give that a flip. Oops, Fleo. Flip. Paste. There we go. Now revisiting this nose. This might actually be too blunt with that 2 width there. I'm going to... Oh, actually, how's our flight going? Ooh, pause at top of descent. Alright, now I am a little bit wrapped up in this, and I kind of want to try some more stuff here. I'm going to make a copy of this above here, and then I'll come back to the flight and finish it off. We're almost done there. That should pretty much be it here. But what I want to try doing is seeing if I can make it any better with just a 3-1, or not a 3-1, but a 3 nose tip right there for the leeriness. So yeah, I found a better top-down, or not top-down, but kind of diagonal angle right here, and it is very pointy at that. Ooh. I am kind of liking that a lot more, actually. Now this is going to have to round out. I wonder if I can use a trapdoor. Ooh. Idiot. Stay. Good button. Now that's kind of floating, though. I don't like that. I don't know about the trapdoor. But a slab there. Yeah, I think the slab pointing down so that the angle kind of goes off there. I think that's going to be better for a Lear nose. Because this is very, very blunt right here with this. So I'm going to do that. I think that's going to give us Lear nose. Well, that'll make the nose, the front of that pretty blunt there too, but oh well. And the cockpit glass here, I don't hate it as much as I did before. I think this is going to be about the best we've got. The only other option again would be a slab there. That's not bad either. That is not bad either. Because it has to be in line with the front of that, because it doesn't dip down from the sides. As much as it was nice to have it be a little bit thicker for the kind of wide panel, from that forward view there, it dips down to the sides, and it should not be doing that because it's these panels that actually curve up to the sides. That's the wrong look for a Lear. That's more like a Cessna Citation or something. I'm gonna bring it back to those slabs there. I think that's not gonna be too thin with that trapdoor there, especially. I wonder. No, yeah, because it needs to taper down there as well at that top edge. That's okay, I think. What about a snow set down there, actually, to help taper off? Ooh. That would then expose that curvature a little bit more from the sides there, too. What if I did a 2 snow layer on the edge? That might be a bit too sharp. Yeah, that's too sharp, because then that makes that layering weird. A 3 set might do the trick, though. I think that's going to be it. I'm not 100% sold on it, but I rarely am in this scale. It's so annoying to... Well, not in this scale, but with this small of an aircraft. It's so annoying to work with sometimes. But I think that's going to do it there for that. That'll kind of give that ridge down the center for the Lear nose. Yeah, okay. I wish I could chisel slabs off from the underside, but it's either that or a trapdoor, and neither are good, so I think that's the best bet there. Anything else? Yeah, I can't taper that stone off anymore, because a stone slab would be too harsh, way too harsh of a curvature. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, it's just gonna be a bit of an oversized engine, slightly. What about a withers or a skeleton skull? Nope, that's bad layering, because that makes that all a flat box from the edge there. Yeah, that needs to be a stone full block, I think. And an acacia button there. Okay. Any other quick details I can finish off before calling it good and returning to the flight that we're supposed to be doing right now? Oops. This early Lear model here had no fences and a small, very small wire going to the front there. That's interesting that there's so much variation between Lear 23 models when there are only 100 produced. This is a Lear 23, right? November 88 Bravo is... Oh, it's a Lear 24. No, a Lear 23. This Lear 24 did not have that radio wire. So it might be a different model. Yeah, I think that's a different model. No, it did have it. Maybe the radio wire was added in the Lear 24. Oh, that's so weird. It might have just been an option. Huh. The learning never stops, I guess. Yeah, there's so much variation between the details here, it's kind of difficult, but... Alright. Anyways, I think we're just about approaching the end of this here, so I will call it good on this, and... Oh, I did want to get the... Ooh. So this might also mirror on the right side. It looked like it didn't, but I think it does. I'm going to drop that there while I double check. Almost back to the flight. I know, I'm getting caught up in stuff. It's so hard to drop when it's like so close to being there, but not quite. There's always stuff to improve. That's always how it goes. It's never really done. Yeah, I can't tell. There was one that had that on the right side, and then I'm finding some others that don't. Here's another Lear 23. That is absolutely not a Lear 23. Those are huge engines. Oh my goodness, what is that? November 86 Bravo Lima. Lear 36. Okay, that makes more sense. So it's re-engined. I don't know why it's labeled as a... Oh, it's not. I'm just stupid. Okay, that makes more sense. Alright. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that out for now. Oh, what's this? Here's a better view. Yes, it is there. Okay, I'm gonna leave that button there then. It might just be not visible on the, those other ones I was looking at. Okay, so I'm gonna do that, and, ooh, and this one has straights on the vertical stabilizer too, that others don't. Oh man, there's so much variation here. Okay, I'm gonna leave those straights out because I have not seen them at all on others, but I might have to make a larger family at some point later, because it has these straights right around there on the sides. That is so fascinating that there is so much variation between such a relatively unpopular, well, not unpopular, but I mean, like, because it started off the Learjets and was not around for a whole too long. Anyways, the last thing I wanted to have a look at here was this rear layering here. So where it goes 1, 1, and then into that. I don't like that entirely. I wish... Let me... Because then if I get rid of that, then that just gets rid of that. I guess that still replicates that antenna well enough, but I really liked that previous design, but it won't be able to be included if that was to be a slab, which I believe it should be, with that new reference to work off of. Because yeah, that should curve out a little bit more there beyond the base of that, and then for that curvature there, it should definitely be 222, kind of going all the way up there. Now from the sides here, how's this looking? Pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's never going to be. So I think that is probably going to be just about it. I keep forgetting those static wicks. I need to get those static wicks in. Let me see. I still can't tell for sure, but they should be coming off of the... Yeah, I can see a few on this aileron here. Come on. There we go. And then one more off of there. I think that should do it. Just before I forget about the static wicks entirely. And that curvature there for the pylon is all good. There's like a tiny little detail down here. Set of details at least, right in line with there. I think that should be a birch button right there for that little set. It doesn't look like an antenna set, but it's something small little bump there. Anyways. I think that's going to do it. So I'm going to finally relinquish this poor Learjet here and call it quits. Oh, although I want a... It looks like that little tip right there is the anti-collision light set from that angle. Maybe? Not the anti... but like a strobe light set. Oh, weird. The curvature of that is also different between Lear 23. Some have a flat, blunt tip. Some have a rounded pod for a light array. They might all be the same, and I might just be blind, but I don't know. Ah, well, I'll leave it as it is right there for now, because I can't find any better references. I'll try one last quick search here. Learjet 23 tail, see if that brings up anything useful in terms of angles. Nope. Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to have anything on there anyways, because it'd kind of mess with the layering a bit. Here's a good view. Maybe. I'm going to use a... Let's see, how would a jungle button look in that space? Nah, I'm just going to leave it. Yep, I'll leave it as it is. I don't think that detail can be replicated. The torch would be way too large for that part there. Okay, well, I digress. I've meandered on for way too long about this, but there we go. We did it. We built a Learjet 23, kind of. It works mostly alright. And yeah, that's been the experience there. So I'll switch back to the flight sim view then, and we may resume our arrival into Cape Town. So let me grab the chart here real quick. I'll have a look at the arrival before unpausing it here, just so I don't overshoot anything in case. And double checking at Cape Town here. We are still in south traffic, definitely. Or not south traffic, north traffic. Landing from the south. So we don't need to switch arrivals. And there are no altitude constraints along the way for this arrival. So I'm going to take it down to 170. Come on, there we go. Just make that number up. And starting in here in a few moments, I'll quit Minecraft as well to save myself a little bit of RAM. Oops, I'm still in studio mode. There we go. There we go. Okay. My apologies for that. Now the full view is up, and I can crank the volume back up as well. And here's the top of the descent, so I'll give that a push. Since I had my head tucked away while I was stuck with the Learjet 2, I did not program the destination data, so I'll head down and do that now here. Alright, so we're looking at, let's see, we got winds 040 at 4 knots, nice and gentle. Temperature 8 degrees, altimeter 10028. Alright, I'll leave the rest until we're a little bit closer down to start working on the approach. There's the beautifully hideous default X-plane terrain. Should be coming up on the ortho relatively soon here. Alright, still got constraints up. So, for the arrival here, I'll pull this up on the charts now. So, let's see what we're looking at. We've got, yeah, so we're coming in here to Addons. Where are we now? We're still on the airway into Addons, so Addons is a ways down. But the only constraints we have to worry about here is a 250 knot restriction here at 30 DME to, oh, excuse me, goodness, to Cape Town. And then, oh dear, then a 210 knot restriction at 8 DME. Those waypoints in there are coded properly. Yeah, very good. So it'll be just pretty much straight in here into the Cape Town. It's this radial 65 inbound. Then at 8 DME there, we'll have that 210 restriction decelerated down to that. We'll then take a left around 190. And then that'll be the downwind leg. Then we'll take a right around to base. Right around whenever we can. I'll probably aim for about a 10-mile final, just since I'm vectoring myself. And transition altitude here isn't displayed. I'm gonna do transition altitude 7,500, which is not set correctly in the FMC, so we'll do flight level 75. There we go. Our airport elevation is going to be 151 feet. And I'll brief the approach a little bit farther down. In the meantime, what I can do is pull up Cape Town on Google Maps, like a proper aviator, and, oh come on, FACT airport. There's Google Maps option. Okay, and I'll have a look around here and kind of see what the deal is with parking, since I don't, this is a historic flight and I don't have any flight radar data to go off of for whereabout I should kind of be parking. Let's see what's going on here. I'll pull up Navigraph charts on the left side here so I can kind of show about what I'm looking at here. So we've got these satellite stands off to the right side of the apron here. But I'll try to aim for a, I think there's some South African planes at the at the terminal itself. So they use that. Another trick I can try doing is looking up Cape Town Airport A340 and seeing where they kind of parked. Yeah, there's one at the gate, so they definitely did use the terminal gates here. Can't tell what gate that is exactly. But anyways, here's a better view. Yeah, so it looks like right where Echo joins in here, most of these wide-body gates there that are farther apart spaced are definitely both wide-body capable and A340 capable. I'll take Alpha 7, I think. Yeah, that should do it just fine. Yep, these are the big gates here, definitely. Yeah, I'll take Alpha 7 then. Alright, cool. I got that sorted. I'll keep on descending down to 9,000. Ortho should be just about on the horizon. We'll see. Why are ToLiss Airbus PFDs the wrong color? The ground color should be orange, not that reddish brown color that it is. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. It's not exactly the right... It's the same on their A320s as well. I'm curious though. I'll have a look at the real cockpit. Yeah, it's a little bit lighter shade, it looks like. Actually, it looks like it should probably be a bit darker than that. Come to see, I guess it depends on the lighting of the picture. So I don't have a good reference on what the actual color is, but yeah, from these pictures at least, it should probably be darker than it is. But yep. Alright, we're set here for a little bit. My voice is absolutely dying and I'm out of water, so I'm going to be right back in about a minute or so as I partake in the retrieval of water. See ya. Alright, the water has been obtained. So, right around now would be a good time to have a look at that approach. Let's see, we're still coming up, yeah, just about 40 miles out from that 250 knot decel still. So, in here, let's see. This will be a course of 11. minimums. We got Cat 1 ILS. Oh dear. I'm not familiar with that terminology. G-min 2.5%. I guess that's another climb performance metric. I'm not sure though. I have no idea what the A340's climb performance minimum is. I don't know if that's something like the performance calculator would give you, but I don't have any of that. So I'm going to assume it performs pretty terribly. So I'm just going to use that 2.5% minimum there. And let's see. VAP 149, so we're definitely at Cat, excuse me, a Cat D. So we'll do 402. Excuse me, my goodness. Yeah, 402 foot minimum, this would be 546 barrow. MDA, there we go. Then, let's see here. So from missed approach, it'll be climb to 6,500. We'll be runway heading to 2 DME Cape Town, then a left around 330 to intercept the 346 outbound. Then right around direct to inbound and holding. Okay. So missed approach altitude 6,500. That's the important stuff to get out of that. And for this runway here, we have 10,000 feet to work with. Excellent. This should be a nice, steady. Although, actually, let's see. I kind of want to vacate at Echo if we can, if we're light enough. Because otherwise, it'd be a pain to take 1.6 all the way around. Well, not too much of a pain, because we're kind of right where we... I guess we could vacate on runway 34 there, off the ground, and then take... What's that, Foxtrot down, or whatever? Enter at Alpha 1 from there. So we'll see. I might use a little bit of a higher auto brake. Although that's only about 5,000, so we probably won't make Echo anyways. Let's see what our landing performance is looking like here. Still shooting for runway 01. Let's see what it does with brakes 2. Mission gone, flaps full. No anti-ice required because it's... Well, it's only 8 degrees out there actually. I was misremembering. It's pretty... Well, it's on the cooler side, but... Okay, we'll see how the moisture does down there. Alright, we'll compute that then. Oh yeah. Only 2,000 meter landing distance. What's that? Okay, so we have 3,200 available. So I think if with that landing distance there, we should still be able to vacate at Echo as a high speed at 40 to 50 knots. Well, 40 knots actually is a bit of a tighter high speed, isn't it? I'll just go for auto brakes too. If we have to take 3-4, it's not the end of the world. Alright, let's zoom in there. Coming up on the DSL point. And because we have these powerful A340 wings as well, once we get below 280, we can pop out the slats. That'll help for getting down too. Is that, are we in ortho now? I think we are we? No, that's just still the default. X-plane terrain. Yep, I will. I can't remember now, come to think of it. I thought I had... Yeah, there it is. There's the ortho cutoff. I was about to say, like, did I ever generate ortho for Cape Town? I've only been in there, like, once. I flew out of there in a Lufthansa A340, actually. No, A350. About a year back or so. This is only my second time in Cape Town, then, in the sim. Very exciting. AC lands. How long till landing? We should be down in about maybe 15 minutes or so. Let's see what the report's saying here. 1326 UTC, so that's about Yeah, 15 minutes out. Nailed it. Very cool. Alright, there's 10 below VFE next, and we can drop the slats. Alright, platform altitude for the approach is going to be 3,000 feet, so I'll take it all the way down to there. And... yep, alright. Down to 3,000, there we go. Almost 10,000 here too. Pop on the landing lights. See, not a whole lot else to worry about. Got the arrival sorted, the approach sorted, the landing, parking all figured out. And yeah, once we land here, if we take Echo as the exit at least, it'll be straight off here. Now we're gonna have to be careful because that's gonna be straight off from a high speed right into the apron here, so we're not gonna be able to roll it out. We'll have to still keep a lead foot on the brakes, but otherwise it'll be Echo there right around and then into Alpha 7. So I'll have to pop on the APU pretty much as soon as we exit the runway. Otherwise, if we miss Echo, it'll be a left on 3-4 here, which will be a much gentler exit. Rolling to the end of 3-4, left on Foxtrot around then the Alpha 1 entrance to the Alpha apron. And yes, that'll do it. Alright. I'm being so careful to make sure I hide the charts every single time I pull those up now after that last oops moment. Funny how good for learning those are. Oh dear. Speaking of oops moment, I hope my microphone is still working. Yes, it does look like it is. That's very cool. Alright. There's below 10,000, we'll pop the landing lights on, wing lights, no smoking, and cabin crew. Very good. Coming up on the 210 decel point here. Decelerated that early too on the arrival, should very much help with the angle of descent later on to make sure we can get around into the approach there. Beautiful valleys. That's so cool there with those sharp hillsides on either end, flooded with the clouds. Little winding road leading up the edge there. Got 17 DME now. It's almost to that 8 DME left turn. It's overfly, it looks like, yeah. Right. 5 miles. Once we get below 210 as well, we're right at the end of that econ speed range, so we should slip down like nothing once we flatten out there for that decel point. Once that happens, right when I get to 210, I can drop out flaps 2. Also, 7,800, here comes the transition altitude at 7,500. I should pull up what our barrel once again. It's 1028. I have a bad habit at European airports, since I do a lot of flying in the US where it's like, oh, the transition altitude's 18,000, so once you're down to 10, you're perfectly sorted for the rest. But then in European airports, like Munich a lot, I run into this where like the platform altitude for the approach is the same altitude as the transition altitude, so I always forget to set the altimeters ahead of time, and then I'll land and I'll be like, oh, my minimums were a little bit off, and oh, well, it's because I was still in standard pressure. But yep. So there we go. Altimeter set 3 times. Very good. And oh, that's weird. Huh. The VFE net changed. It dropped. That is very odd, actually. So I can't. No, I still can. I could be -10 at the base of this right here. Man, look at that high deck angle there, though, to hold that altitude. Goodness. All right. Here comes flaps 2. Oops. Sorry about that. Professional streamer. Wonderful. Now I did see we had the decel point for the approach point coming up here, but I want to take manual control of that. So let's hold right around 200 knots, actually. I don't want to charge ahead too much into overspeed territory there. It's max 210, not at 210, so that's going to be good for us. Then it's going to be out heading 190, so grab heading 190 and vertical speed it down at 200. We'll do 1,000 down. That should do it. Yeah, we're still not quite idle there. What is it meaning by that blue arrow? Somehow I don't entirely trust that as the level off point for 6,000 to 3 in only, what, 2 miles? I don't know about that. Anyways, I'll leave that at 10-mile range there. Now I'll leave it at 20 so I can see the approach point there coming up. Speaking of which, let's grab the landing scopes. So we're pretty much right abeam Cape Town now, but can't see it off the wing because of the clouds. Oops. There we go. Speaking of clouds, oh dear. What's our temperature out there? 2 degrees. So we don't need wing anti-icing, but I'll pop on the engine anti-icing below 10. We might be able to turn it off by approach time if the skies clear up a little bit, but this is some pretty thick rain for now. Alright. Run it down to 180 now. And we can activate the approach phase. We'll shell it out to about 800 down. There's the coastline. Look at that. I'm glad I popped out of the mountains, though. Forgot to bring up a terrain radar with that. Alright. And here comes flaps... Oh, no, not flaps 3. That was an auto response, just seeing below the VFE nets there, right there, but yeah. We'll be holding off on flaps 3 until the approach. Alright, almost abeam that approach point there. It's too selected, very good. TI-01 is a 12-mile intercept though, so I can probably even look that around right now. Alright, 190, right 90 will be 280. Now I'll just go right 300. That 190 is a little bit flared outwards from the approach, so doesn't matter too much. No, I'll still do 280. Messed up the math a little in my head. Yeah, because that'd be too close to this FI-01, which is a 2,000-foot intercept, not a 3,000. Hello, mountains. What a beautiful contrast. Those sharp cliff sides against the straight into the coast. Love it here. Alright, about 2.5 miles out, I'll swing around that right turn. Let's see, it's a final approach towards 011, so about a 340. Should do it for a 30-degree intercept. Almost. Alright, let's do it. 340. Come on. There we go. Approach mode is active. Very good. Handle arm approach. Glide slope is alive. I might have actually cut that turn a little bit tight. Hopefully I'll go into Lodestar before we intercept the glide slope. Uh-oh. Come on, come on, come on, come on. This is worrying me. I'm gonna drop that down to 2,000 there. Come on, localizer. DME. Almost. There we go. Glide slope star, Lodestar. Awesome. That's almost a little embarrassing. Alright. Gear down, speed 160. Flaps 3. Love the A340 gear. Look at that. Aside from my shoddy camera work, that is. And we'll go VAP and flaps full. Awesome. Fully configured by 2,000. Excellent. Let's see, I'll set. It was 6,500 on the missed approach altitude. Very good. Yeah, we still got some rain here, so I'll leave the engine anti-ice on all the way down. I think at least. Yeah, 5 degrees SAT. Alright. Ding the cabin crew here. Landing checklist, gear down, forward green. Forward green. Love that. Flaps full, speed brakes armed, auto brake set, 2, missed approach altitude 6,500 set, altimeters set, lights Set. Cleared to land. Excellent. Runway in sight. I'll pull out the autopilot at about 1,000. And my usual word of warning, I'm likely going to make a fool of myself with the A340 here. Or with the landing in general. So, this landing could be entertaining, for lack of a better word. We'll probably get down onto the ground okay, but I can't guarantee it'll be pretty. Especially when I can barely see the runway like this with all that glare from the clouds off in the distance there. Goodness. Alright, 1,000, I'll pull it out there. And get track FPA up. I have a nasty habit of dropping below the glide slope, overcorrecting, getting high, then dropping like a stone and hitting the runway like a duck, so... In fact, we're drifting a little left here. Yeah, there's the glide slope getting a little bit away from us. See if I can make this a somewhat professional approach.
500.
Alright, going just visual now. 2 reds on the pappies. Very good. Still a little to the right. I don't like that a whole too much.
300. 200.
It's hard to use the rudder to flatten that out too, because of just how much momentum the A340 has. Alright.
50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 10.
Oh, that was nice. I will take that entirely. Alright. Reverse green. Decel. And there's Echo already. I think I passed. No, I can't tell. I don't know. 80 knots. Reverse is stowed. Now here's Echo. Oh yeah, we made it. Just fine. Alright. Manual braking. Very cool. So that was a little bit of a shoddy approach, as I was drifting too far to the right and couldn't correct in time. So I still touched down a little to the right of the center line, but that was pretty decent for a flare, at least. So I'll take that for sure. Well, we'll see what the replay has to say about that, but I will. Alright, here's Echo out. I'll get the APU going immediately now. Anti-ice can come off. Nose lights off. Landing lights off. Strobes off. Wing light off. Stop the clock. Flaps up, speed brake stowed. Auto brakes disarmed. And again, we're looking for Alpha 7 for parking. There's a nice 10 knots. APU flap open, give that a punch. Can clean up the MCP here, get constraints out, and the landing scales. Let's roll that up to 7100, back to heading. Oh good, this gateway scenery does have stand markings on the ground. That is very good. A lot don't, and it can get quite annoying to taxi, like, oh cool, I'm just parking in a lifeless airport. But very good here. Alright, pulling in, I'll get the nose light off. APU is coming to life. Now, because we're a huge A340, I'm going to have to overshoot this a little bit and then swing around. About that much should cut it, hopefully. Take a tight 90 around. Get the transponder off. And here's where I'll have to poke my head outside and manually park myself, because it isn't an airport with SAM installed, so I don't have any ground marshalers. Right there. Alright. Yeah, that's the problem with default airports. At least the jetways now work on all default airports. That's so cool. But then when you're stuck without a marshaller, it's still annoying. So that's where the benefit always comes in with third-party scenery, but or the marshaller or a VGDS. But alright, APU's available. Engines off. Seatbelt signs off. go IRS off, fuel pumps off, as well as the transfer pumps. And very good. To clear out these warnings down here. Transponder's already off. And oh, weather radar should have come off. Oh wait, it already was. Okay, yeah, good. Alright, and PWS off as well. Unlock the cabin door. Oh, come on. Bam, there we go. And reset the rudder trim. Only 1 degree right, or 0.1 degrees right. Not a whole lot much more to it. How's the engines going here? Fully shut down. Beacon off, and APU bleed on. So, there we are. We made it. Before I pull the final spiel, I will try doing a landing replay here, just to see how that ended up going, but let me try here. I'll poke into the replay mode. Now this might crash on us, because X-Plane 12, it's been a year now, and it still is absolutely misbehaving on replays like this. It always likes to crash. Some aircraft does it more than others. The A340's mostly behaved for me, but sometimes it'll just have a mind of its own. So, I will pop down here and stuff my head. I guess I'll try to do like a terminal view-ish from this corner here. And, oh yeah, that's a good angle there. Oh, I probably rewinded the landing a bit too much. Ah, well. We can wait. Hey, here's a good demonstration of the new X-Plane 12 seasons with the fall trees down there. Very cool. I think I have my sound cranked all the way up. Yeah, I do. Okay. Oh, I had my desktop audio at minus 22 decibels, not minus 15 like I usually do. Hopefully that didn't make the landing too quiet. Alright, let's watch that flare there. You know, considering that it's me at the wheel, I'd say that's pretty good. I have done significantly worse than that, so I will take that for sure. I still don't know how far off center line that was, but I will. Let's see how I tracked that. Well, I pretty much had the center line nailed, actually, from the approach, but I forgot to kick in the left rudder to decrab. Yeah, I had it nailed right there, and then right there I... Well, I decrabbed a little, but it was too late. Interesting, okay. Alright, let's roll the replay back a little bit more, and then have a wing view with the beautiful A340 flaps. Those ailerons work there. Oh yeah. Man, I love the A340. You can see just the tiniest corner of the thrust reverser there. I've always loved, too, in Airbus aircraft, how the, with the fly-by-wire, how the ailerons both combine with the flaps and the spoiler deploy. It's just a full-on multifunctional control surface. well, I guess as I'll leave it to pull into the gate here. Can crank down the audio a little bit there. So, that's it for me then here today. Thank you so much for joining me along on this flight as we traversed South Africa and built a Learjet and got way too distracted and left it paused for like 20 minutes. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And if you were watching this after the fact, it feels a little bit self-inflated to say this, but because the previous videos have done unexpectedly well, fortunately. If you're finding this elsewhere, then please do consider subscribing to the Aeroteam Gaming channel to watch some more streams like this one, and other kinds of gaming from the other Aeroteam members. They do a lot of other stuff, and it is very good fun. So, yeah, that's about it. What else should I cover? Oh man, there were some things I was realizing I wanted to say after I ended last one, and I can't remember what. Ah, well. Anyways, I'll let it slide into the date here, see if I remember by then. Hopefully I will get AI traffic set up again by the next one too, so the airports can be a little bit less lifeless, but well. And there we are. Safe parking in Cape Town. Well, thank you very much for joining along with me. And I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.